It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
Happy Friday night, everybody. Nielsen and Gazzola with you, back with another episode of The Oil Stream. We're ready to go. And Gretzky 99 hockey. That's great. I got to get you one of these, buddy. Sorry, man.
Yes. I mean, I've only been a part of this since almost day one, but
You're
anyway.
pretty much like, what was it, like episode 5 when I was just like, you want to come do this now? Like,
yes.
It was pretty early.
It's been a great run, and it will continue. Thank you to everyone. Dusty, I mean, hey, this is a very comfortable shirt, and I like helping out at Gretzky Hockey School. I'm supposed to go back down this summer, and I can't wait to do that. But I literally have everything packed. The stuff that you see behind me is all that's left on the wall, and then the fake plant right here. It's just like it's.
Wait, that plant's fake?
Yeah, I don't know how.
Man, I thought for years it was real, you know?
No, I mean, I'm glad that illusion existed in your mind, but you know how there's the people now that, especially during COVID, they got plants and they were very into that. And they're like, my babies are blooming. No, this plastic is dusty. That's all it is.
My babies are blooming.
Yes.
Is that what plant people say? I didn't even know that.
Well, I mean, there's a few girls I dated in the last few years who were like, I got to take care of my babies. I'm like, I didn't know you had like a dog or a cat. And they're like, no, my plants. Oh, they're your babies. And they're like, yeah, don't you have something? I was like, I have a plastic one. Looks great every day.
That's real lame. All right. I'm glad you're not dating them anymore, Tommy.
Yeah, no, there's a reason.
All right. As always, the Oil Stream brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Blackened chicken sandwich is back and better than ever. So make sure you pick that up. Maybe celebrate with on the weekend. And hey, if you're heading to Commonwealth on Sunday, you can get the Popeye's chicken sandwich, the classic, at 2 locations. Go early. Get it early, because everybody's going to be munching those things like crazy, and they'll probably sell out because it's just going to be so popular on Sunday.
It's 1260 night, although we know that football team is not allowed to discuss it anymore because somebody may have said something, and we're going to be there. It's still 1260 night, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And Popeye's now at Commonwealth and pretty much everywhere else you look. So get your hands on the delicious Popeye's chicken sandwich. And if you don't like going out of your house, DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and Uber Eats, they will take care of you. Tommy, how excited are you that earlier today, the preseason schedule was announced?
Too soon was the first thought that went in my mind, but they get ahead of this, and obviously the Oilers are doing 8 games because that's money, baby, dollar bills. So if people are wondering why they're doing it, it's strictly financial. It's not extra looks at guys, it's financial. Anyway, it's a reminder that our next project will be imminent by then, and we should be ready to go. And then, did it make me excited? Truth be told, no. There's so much other shit going on right now that I was just like, oh, yeah, the preseason. Well, it can wait 2 months and another week.
If you are wondering what the preseason schedule looks like, it's about just over 90 days away from dropping the puck in the preseason, which actually doesn't seem that far away. I do remember last preseason, like midway through, saying, wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
And that was like, usually I'm very excited for preseason, but maybe it's just because the team's so set in stone. You're like, nobody's really winning a job. Like, everybody's ready to go. But the preseason schedule is as follows. They start with a home versus the Jets. Then on September 27th, they play the Canucks. September 29th, the Calgary Flames. Then the Canucks. October, 3 games. Seattle, Calgary, and Seattle. A couple games against Calgary and Seattle, October 4th and 6th at home. So if you're watching the Oil Stream or listening to the podcast, you're like, I need dates on the preseason games. There you go. Tommy, I'm gonna have some fun with this way too early in the episode, but inside the numbers for Cool Bet Canada. Stay cool and bet responsibly. You can go bet on the NHL draft right now. Get all the NHL drafting you need from our great partners at Cool Bet. Tommy, over under 4.5 preseason victories for the Edmonton Oilers.
Over. They'll win a bunch of them. McDavid and Draisaitl will play 3 or 4 of them. and we'll over speculate on things. We will see Raphael Lavoie play at least 6 of them. You know what? We'll probably see Dylan Holloway in at least 4 or 5 of them, and then maybe like a Xavier Borgo puts together a really nice preseason and puts a couple of points up, which would be great because that's the pipeline, right? Like you need that. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity for those guys. We mentioned it a couple of weeks ago here on the Oil Stream. Expect Lavoie to play a ton and in a lot of different scenarios. So we're going to see that, but I'll take the over on 4.5 wins in the 8 preseason games that the Oilers will play starting the day after my 38th birthday.
Oh, that's big news too. Good way to drop that in there. I'll have to remember. I do like how like people are probably legitimately pumped about this preseason talk. You know, and the line here is I take the over 4.5 because if it's under 4.5, people be like, what's wrong with this organization? Like they can't even find success in the preseason. But
the preseason is irrelevant outside of player evaluation, like wins and losses.
Well, what's going to happen here? I'm going to make the story. I'm going to make the prediction right now.
Okay.
Raphael Lavoie scores 5 times in the preseason. People are projecting him to get 30 playing along Draisaitl, and he's waived in October.
Sounds eerily familiar.
Yeah, it's happened before.
Wait a sec.
And that's not just an Edmonton thing. That happens in like probably 10 markets around the league where there's like a preseason sensation that's back in the American League by the time the puck drops, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
Lavoie does have to clear waivers though this year, right? So
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
I
think
don't
he does.
think that unless a team really likes him and has been scouting him hard the last year and a bit, I don't think that he would, get snapped up. But
lots of teams have prospects like him, right? So
Anton Lander, Ty Ratty, preseason scoring champs, and
Ty Ratty. The Ty Ratty preseason was legendary. We had a Ty Ratty song and everything. It was awesome.
Throw in Brendan Perlini in there, although Brendan Perlini was a nice guy. They're all good guys. Like
Perlini's a great dude.
Yeah.
He was at the Spengler one year, and you're just like, man, you just want to see that guy have success.
Yeah. Yeah. Too bad. Lots of talent, smart guy. And you know what? I don't know, maybe too much too early for him. Maybe Arizona really screwed him up, but it's too bad. Or maybe he just couldn't figure it out. I mean, he had some good moments here, but the preseason, it's an evaluation tool and a marketing ploy and a way to make cashish.
Perlini is still probably one of my favorite interviews I ever did on TSN 1260. He was just such a down-to-earth, well-spoken dude. Yeah. I remember people texting in, they're like, this guy's amazing. Like, get this guy on all the time. Yeah. And then he didn't really stick, right? And that was tough.
Yeah.
That was shitty.
Yeah. Well, RIP to Brendan Perlini's NHL career and to TSN 1260.
Yeah, both of 2 great things that just never really got a fair shake. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to describe it. All right, let's did you see Bouchard Fogel on Instagram? They were golfing and Bouchard, there was a deer, and Fogel tagged it Deer King. Do you think Deer King has as good a ring as Bison King, Tommy?
I don't even want to go there.
Deer King is such a bad nickname.
It's awful. I mean, it'd be better if it was something like Big Buck.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But King Buck, I don't know. But Deer King. I mean, either of those two are just goofing off because they've had a couple of wobbly pops on the course.
Yeah, maybe.
That's good that they're hanging out. It speaks to the closeness of the group, and people get a laugh. And I'm sure a lot of Oiler fans think, "Oh, look at them! That's so adorable.
That's so cute." Yeah.
At the same time, it's their buddies, and that's a terrible
Deer King. Deer King might be so bad that the boys over at the Nation won't even make a T-shirt about it. Like those guys bang out T-shirts for everything, and I'm sure they sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
But I don't even think they would do Deer King. You know, that's bad.
I think the crew at the Nation would probably come up with something better
than
like
Deer
that.
King, yeah.
And they would have it ready to go and on the printing line even quicker.
Yeah. I just
That's
don't
how
think
sharp they are.
I don't think Deer King is gonna work. It's
Yeah.
not good. All right, let's get into your Boston Pizza appetizer. We are Friday night, Saturday night, so 3 sleeps away from our next live on location at Boston Pizza. Join us in the mail 7:30. We are gonna get rolling. It's gonna be absolutely outstanding. Cannot wait for that. Very much looking forward to it. I feel like there's a few AM nasties that might trickle out on Monday night, so that'll be a lot of fun as well. But Tommy, tell us about the Steve Staios battle brewing here.
Right. And we know, and we've talked about it here, and you start to hear it now on other platforms, rightly so. It's not a secret by any means that now that the Andlauer Group has, won the right to buy the Ottawa Senators and is buying the Ottawa Senators, the connection to Steve Staios and his time with the Hamilton Bulldogs as president, obviously very successful, a couple of championships. He oversaw not just player development, he oversaw the entirety of the franchise and had a lot of success. And that speaks volumes to the type of person that Steve Staios is and the type of manager that Steve Staios is. And he continued to grow as a hockey executive. So now he's found himself in a position where he's a wanted man by multiple organizations. And so you've got one new owner to the NHL in Andlauer who has this very strong tie and bond to Steve Staios and could persuade Steve Staios to come to the Senators. I mean, they obviously have Pierre Dorion there right now, but that's an organization in a state of flux. However, Steve Staios, and rightly so, is equally as valued by the Edmonton Oilers and the Oilers owner, Dale Cates, and completely understandable because he sees what potential Steve Staios has now and in the future. He values him enough to put him into a position to work prominently with Ken Holland. And so, I don't know if it's going to be a tug of war between the two owners, but both owners have a high esteem for Steve Staios that I don't know if it comes down to highest bidder, but that's what it sounds like and respected he is, that it could potentially turn into that. And I know for a fact, Daryl Cates is a big fan of Steve Staios, and rightly so.
Man, what a spot to be in.
It's a great spot
Steve Staios, hey? Holy smokes.
But pressure, obviously, too. But I mean, that is a great spot to be in, and he's worked for it. So it might become interesting down the road, but maybe Steve Staios likes what's building up here and says, you know what, Ottawa, that's something in flux. I want to win now. I like these guys. I want to help this team continue to rise in prominence. There's an affinity for the
favorite
Oilers
too, right?
Exactly. And then Staios was a Maple Leaf, spent time in the organization, was on the bench a little bit, player development. What's his affinity for the Ottawa Senators? Minimal, probably, but it could grow. I mean, a new challenge, something to start fresh.
I think that so. Let's play a game called You're Steve Staios. We're Steve Staios.
Yeah.
Would you rather be the general manager of the Edmonton Oilers right now or the Ottawa Senators? And I'll just put an I'll go first, I guess. I'm going to answer this question first. And I can see why Ottawa would be tempting. You know what I mean? With McDavid and Draisaitl and a window open right now, I think the Oilers are the answer. But with the young group that Ottawa has built, and some more room maybe financially to do what you want there. I could see Ottawa being tempting, man. I mean, other markets, Calgary, Vancouver, Montreal, Winnipeg. I don't know what's going to happen in Winnipeg right now. They've got some weird stuff going on.
How about Saravalli with the 1-2-3 combination on Flames Nation? Wow. Sorry to derail.
That's a tough look. But what I'm saying is that I can see why Ottawa would be a tempting place to become the general manager with that new ownership vibe, a guy you're familiar with, and a roster with Timmy Stützle and Tkachuk, and all these guys are signed. I mean, that'd be a good spot to be too, I guess.
Both present their own unique challenges. Both are incredibly enticing. If it was me and I was in this position and I worked myself into it or found myself there, amazing. I think personally, and this is just me, I would look at my relationship with each owner who would be a huge, obviously probably have and has the say in the decision making. And I would go, well, how much faith do I have in that guy? How much do I like and respect him compared to how much I like and respect and have faith in that guy? And so I think if it was similar, I would look at the job and the task at hand. Well, all right, in Edmonton, I could win a Stanley Cup pretty quickly. I've got two of the best in the world, a lot of great players around them, but there's dilemmas there. What do I do with the salary cap moving forward? How do we negotiate this? How do we make sure that the team is strong around those two? I got to finagle a couple of monster contracts as well and try to make sure I have a good team around them. And then you go to Ottawa where you have a couple of good pieces that are up and coming and then a ton of money to throw at free agents while you have a new arena coming in too. So it's kind of building up where like Edmonton was 6-7 years ago. So it would be my relationship with both owners and faith in them first. And then if it's similar, I'd look at the situations and go, which one do I want to take on? Because they are both very challenging.
This is why it's so interesting to me when it comes to Staios, because, and we're just playing the game here. Like, we don't know all the ins and outs, obviously, of these relationships. But I think if you're looking at it as far as taking over a better team and winning a title, I mean, Edmonton would be here and Ottawa would be here. And we don't know much about his relationship with Cates. Maybe they're super tight too, but nobody really talks about it too much.
No.
But we do know his relationship with Andlauer, and that would put it this way, right? Like he's super, super tight with him. So, I mean, that almost saws it off a little bit. So,
just to add to the relationship with each individual owner, you're right. I don't know their relation, Daryl Cates and Steve Staios relate. I just know, and I was told that Cates
he's a big
really,
fan of him,
really,
right? Like,
really likes Steve Staios.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if it was me and one of my really good friends offered me a chance to run, like, let's say my buddy Boom bought the Vancouver Canucks. It was like, hey, do you want to come run this team? And he's like, he was the best man at my wedding. I'd be like, man, that would be fun. Yeah. Like, that would be fun.
Right.
So,
and you've had success already at a different level, but you've had that already.
Well, the one thing we all keep forgetting, and you mentioned his name earlier, Dorian, but the Sens do have a GM. Like, it's not like the Sens have an open GM. And now it's ownership. I mean, they could completely wipe it all out, which is totally understandable. But as of this moment, the Sens still have a general manager. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's an interesting thing. Like, and when I was having this discussion, I was like, oh, okay. So this could become like a tug of war. Yeah, and I'm like, that's an interesting conversation. So I thought it would be a good one for you and I.
Well, why not? Why not? You mentioned tug of war. Is it tug of war or tug o war?
I think either works. Tug of war.
I remember like we always say tug of war.
Yeah, but I think either one.
Whatever.
Works. It's like regardless and irregardless. Like technically one isn't correct, but it's so commonly used that it's like it's in there now. It's
the whole conversation's irregardless anyway.
Awful.
They should have ownership and front offices tug of war for Steve Staios' services. That would be fun.
Call Don Metz.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view event, both markets, and then open it up to the rest of the country if they want it. Let's sell the crap out of it.
Pay-per-view event. That would be great, actually.
Yeah. We do it in Saskatoon.
Hey, look,
right?
We're now watching people just stand there and slap each other in the face. So it wouldn't be any stupider than that.
Yeah, well, I had a few things to say there because there's some outlets that do some pretty crappy stuff right now, and it's somehow popular. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Leave it there.
Let's just leave it at that. All right. So the next time you see us, it'll be Monday night. We'll be live at Boston Pizza in the Mayo. 7:30 start. Swing on by. Grab a bite to eat. Get some of the Thai chicken bites, which I absolutely adore. Have a beverage. I'm hoping that the Mayo is going to have a smoked ham and chicken stromboli sandwich ready for the big man. So
I hope Tara's watching. I'm sure she is.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We'll make that happen. Tommy, good luck with the move, buddy. We'll see you at the Elks game on Sunday. Get us out of here, man.
Oh, all right. So long to this fabulous home studio, and we'll be at BP. Yeah, and then next week I'm working on my new studio at my new home.
Perfect.
It should be pretty nice. I got my dad and my uncle working on it with me, so it'll be good. And with that being said, have a great weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. We love you. Hopefully see you at 1260 night on
come
Sunday.
say hi. Come say hi.
Say hi. We're going to be mingling about. We might have a soda or two. And hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button. We got to play that algorithm game. We out.
When I'm done calling the game, I'm going to get blackout. So we'll see you on Sunday, buddy.
See ya.